it was about 18 years ago when I bought my first recorder and started recording music, and it's one of my passions. Must have been the owner of about 30 or 40 mixers over the years. Finally landed on an SSL studio with a couple friends of mine in Boston, where together we recorded tons of records, tons of demos. Have a lot of experience sitting behind the console. And one of the things I think is very valuable in the design of the Digital 8 bus is that the people behind the Digital 8 bus had a great deal of recording experience. I'm not an MIT grad, I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm a mix engineer who happens to know how to write software. And I think when you go through the user interface and you sit behind this console, it'll be apparent to you that it was developed by people who mix records.
In 1984, I was chief engineer at Trident Audio working on the Diane project. The Diane was the first fully automated, digitally controlled analog console. At that time, we looked at doing a full digital mixer, but it just wasn't feasible. The components were too expensive, processing power was limited, and the audio quality was poor. After 15 years of research, and coincident with my joining Mackie Designs, the parts have now become available, and affordable, high-quality digital audio is now a reality. Now, in my work on the Digital 8 bus, one of the things that we paid a lot of attention to was getting as close to an analog look and feel and sound as we could. So therefore we spend a lot of time, particularly in the EQ algorithms and some of the other processing aspects of the console, to make sure that it sounded really good.
In the design of the Digital 8 bus, we want to capitalize on the last 20 years of your experience with analog consoles. The last thing we wanted to do was reinvent mixing, to say, this is a new way to mix, here's a calculator, get out a pencil and paper, and now let's try to create. What we were trying to do, and I believe you'll agree we achieved this goal, is we tried to make a digital console which has the power of the Total Recall, the full-blown automation, blah, 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 while maintaining the analog mixer user interface. So when you walk up to the Digital 8, you think to yourself, well, how do I pan channel 1? Well, you just pan channel 1. You don't think I got to go to page 5, option 3, and hold a shift button down. So I think that is probably the best quality of our mixer.
Tools can help us create. Tools that can recall and perform complex tasks make us both creative and productive. At the 1972 AES convention, the first automated computerized audio mixing console debuted. You paid almost $200,000 for 32 automated channels. But the concept forever transformed the art of audio production.
26 years later, Mackie Designs has combined the power of 24-bit digital with the productivity of dynamic automation at a price that makes total control and total creativity affordable for the rest of us. At first glance, the Digital 8 bus looks like a 24-channel mixer. Take a closer look. The d8b is actually a 56-input, 72-channel console designed to operate like a large-format split analog recording console. Instead of placing 24 channel strips on one side of the console for tracking and 24 channels on the other side for mixing, we've taken a layered approach that gives you quick central access to either the tracking or mixing sections with the simple touch of a button. Automated motorized faders and other innovative digital technology make this function an affordable no-brainer. But the Digital 8 bus takes this concept even further. There are actually 4 24-channel layers on the d8b. Here's how the 96 channel strips are laid out. Layer 1 enables up to 24 tracks of audio recording at one time. Each channel has 4 bands of EQ, a compressor, and a noise gate. Layer 2 enables 24 tracks of audio playback from tape or hard disk. Again, each channel has 4 bands of EQ, a compressor, and a noise gate. Layer 3 offers 24 separate effects returns, 8 channels of which can be used for additional tape returns if desired. Layer 4, the Masters layer, features 8 subgroup master faders, 8 MIDI channels for controlling external MIDI devices, and 8 bus master faders. Since the d8b actually has 24 additional assignable outputs for busing to tape, these 8 buses are often used for mixing in 6 or 8 channel surround sound or for linking 2 d8bs together. Again, there are 4 24 channel mixers in one digital 8 bus. The Digital 8 Bus is a modular system with main console, external CPU and power supply, connections to optional standard PC-compatible peripherals, and Ethernet port for room-to-room networking of d8b consoles and via the internet, linked control of Digital 8 buses across the country or across the world.
You can also directly connect 2 Digital 8 bus consoles via an optional expansion card for 96 automated channels at Mixdown. The d8b's flexible card cage design lets you plug in a wide variety of tape I/O and effects cards. Right out of the box, the Digital 8 bus has stereo digital inputs and outputs, plus analog bus connections for 8 channels of analog tape. Add optional digital or analog I/O cards to access 24 more tracks of multi-track tape or hard disk digital recorders.
Channel inputs include 12 of Mackie's newly updated premium mic preamps, featuring even higher headroom and lower noise than previous versions, as well as 24 line inputs.
You can create 2 different headphone mixes plus a separate studio feed, monitor over 2 sets of speakers, and add an external talkback microphone for pesky clients. The d8b lets you monitor surround sound, control VTRs via machine control, and sync to any SMPTE frame rate and word clock. It all comes together when you sit down in front of the Digital 8 bus's intuitive analog-like control surface. Here's the power of digital without a steep learning curve or a complicated user interface. Even uniquely digital features such as DSP effects and third-party plugins are accessed with real knobs and buttons in their own dedicated fat channel section. In fact, the d8b gives you more direct controls than any other digital console in its price range. You'll get up to speed fast and maximize productivity and creativity.
The Digital 8 bus hands-on convenience is matched on screen by the most sophisticated automation software ever offered on any console. Every important console function is mirrored on the optional SVGA monitor. Mackie Real-Time OS is not only lightning fast and easily upgradable, but can perform tricks even most $500,000 consoles can't pull off, like hands-on graphic EQ curve editing, EQ morph, and surround sound path morph and flyback.
Sonically, the Digital 8 bus is state-of-the-art, with 24-bit converters and 32-bit internal processing via Pentium-compatible CPU plus extra digital signal processing horsepower. To ensure the d8b's sonic quality makes it all the way to your finished product, we've added Apogee's highly respected UV22 Super CD encoding. Instead of losing information above 16 bits during CD mastering, UV22 captures nearly 24 bits of detail and encodes it into the 16-bit signal.
The result is an enhanced soundstage and more harmonic detail when played back on any CD player. No video can do justice to the superb look, feel, and sound of the Digital 8 bus. To truly experience this console,
You've simply got to get your hands on one. We urge you to visit your Mackie digital dealer and get an in-depth demo. Then join the seasoned professionals who have made the switch to the easy-to-use digital console that gives you total control and total creativity.
For a console this size, to do at this price point, up to 7.1 surround sound mixing, completely automated in the digital domain, is nothing short of phenomenal.
The high-end consoles that are like $500,000 and up, I mean, I'd love to have one too, but I can't afford it. This does, to me, has the same type of power that those consoles have, yet the price is incredible. I mean, a couple years ago, to get a console like this with this technology would have cost you at least $600,000, at least.
I have found with other boards, whose names won't be mentioned, that stepping through a lot of pages gets incredibly distracting, and it breaks your train of thought. It makes you use the other side of your brain. And with the digital 8 bus, you just go for it. You don't have to think. You can keep your mind on the music and the task at hand.
I find flying faders the nicest way of mixing, and now that I can also automate all my pans and all my auxiliary sends, stuff like that, it's just wonderful. It's great to use. The quality is first class, and the stuff sounds good.